Hi there, my name is Jonathan Baumgart. I'm the CEO of Atomic Consulting. In today's video, I'm going to cover the process of registering a Forex or CFD broker in St. Lucia. So let's get started. So before I jump into the specifics, I want to be clear about something. In St. Lucia, you are not getting a license. Now, I often have people contact us who are asking for a St. Lucia license, and I want to be clear, it doesn't exist. This is a result of opportunistic competitors of ours who just want to market something. I find this to be misleading. Therefore, I want to be clear from the start. You're not getting a license in St. Lucia, you're just getting a company. And it should be more understanding when we go over the timelines and the other aspects of the setup. You'll see that unlike a license, it's pretty quick and easy to get started in St. Lucia. Now, I recommend St. Lucia if you're a startup broker. Now, many people complain and say, well, you can't trust brokers in St. Lucia, they're unregulated. The aspect about being unregulated is true, but my feedback is that all the big names that you see in the industry today began as unregistered offshore companies. It's just part of business. I encourage all businesses to get a license. I think it's the best path, but you need to start somewhere. And even if you were to apply from a license from scratch, that's going to take at least 6 months at a minimum. You could acquire a company that's a bit faster, but still it's going to take time. So I think St. Lucia is a great starting point. And what I want to cover today are the requirements, what's needed to register a broker in St. Lucia, what the costs are, as well as the process and timeline, which I'll merge together because it's pretty quick. So let's begin with the requirements. What is needed to register your company in St. Lucia? So the requirements for St. Lucia are quite straightforward. At a minimum, you need one shareholder and one director, and that can be the same person. You will need a unique name. Now, it's worth spending some time here because there's many firms registering in St. Lucia. You have to supply our team with at least 3 names. We cannot guarantee that the name you want for your broker is not already taken. So sometimes these names are taken up. It's not the end of the world. That doesn't mean you can't run as your intended business. You can just put a footer on your website and mention that our broker is registered in St. Lucia under this name. Actually, if you look at many of the large players in our industry, you'll find that in different jurisdictions they have slightly different names because of this, just because some other company has their name and they didn't get there beforehand. So it's not a big deal. You don't have to worry if you can't get the exact name. That's why we ask for a few. You'll need to, in terms of other requirements, obviously, you'll need to pay us in terms of setting up the company. I think that's pretty straightforward. And then we just need some very basic KYC on whoever the owners are. The owner can also be a business, that's no problem. Then we'll just need more KYC on the business, meaning we'll need to know who the owners of that business are. We'll need to have some kind of proof of residency for each of the owners, a document. What's also required is a bank reference letter is needed, and sometimes a CV and a basic questionnaire. That's really it. There's no capital in St. Lucia. So, once again, this is why it's easy to now understand why it's not a license. There's no capital requirements. You do not need to maintain a local office. You do not need to have local staff employed. There are no regulatory filings or reporting. There are some annual renewal and tax filing, which I'll get into, but that's minimal and it's not nearly the same as a regulated entity. Finally, there's no directory where you can find brokers. Everything here is anonymous. So it's quite straightforward. That's really it. So now let's cover the costs very quickly. So in terms of the costs, basically all you need to worry about when you register a broker in St. Lucia are the registration fees and our fee. If you want to know what our fee is, please contact us. We will schedule a call with you. The reason being is that sometimes you might require some ancillary services, like a legal opinion, which we can provide to you, a certificate of incumbency, which is often required by banks and other institutions. Sometimes it has to be apostilled. So we have a whole list of all of the various items that we can provide and what their costs are. Courier delivery is another one. Sometimes you might need to have these documents physically sent. So all those things are worth noting. But in terms of the cost, it's just that it's our fee to set everything up and the government fees. That's it. Like I mentioned just a little while ago, there's no capital requirement. You don't have to worry about paying local staff. Now, one thing to keep in mind that I did hint at are taxes. You do need to do tax filing at the end of the year. Now, you don't have to pay any taxes in St. Lucia. Rather, the government better said, the local authorities just want to have some filing of your business activity for that previous year. This is something our team can help with, but I just want to be clear, there are no taxes to be paid in St. Lucia. There is a renewal fee each year, but that's it. So the costs are very minimal. That's why, this is an attractive jurisdiction for new brokers, looking to get started. So now the process and the timeline, which, we'll cover very quickly. So in terms of the process, I mentioned when we covered the requirements, basically we need that name and the KYC documents. From my experience, that takes a couple weeks to provide. It's not extensive. So once we have that, then we basically submit your registration to the local authorities in St. Lucia. And it takes roughly 2 to 3 weeks. Now, after about 2 weeks, and this is like maybe 10 business days or so, not counting holidays and other things, you will get confirmation that the entity has been registered. The next week, the documents will follow. It always goes in that order, that it's registered and then the documents will follow. Now, what are the documents that you're going to receive in St. Lucia? You will get articles of association, a memorandum of association, an incorporation certificate, officially showing the company was incorporated, a share certificate, also a register of directors, and ultimate beneficiary owners, or UBO for short. So that's what you get when you register this company. As mentioned, if you want a legal opinion, our team can supply that, but that's optional and not related to the registration. We can provide courier delivery and, certificate of incumbency and other ancillary documents that might be needed. So just keep that in mind when you are registering the company, but our team can assist you with everything. And like I said, it's a very simple process. It only takes about 2 to 3 weeks maximum. And in addition, we can also help you with banking. Now, I want to be clear here, it is not possible to get local banking in St. Lucia. That's basically impossible for a high-risk business like FX and CFDs, but we do have some payment options that we can assist you with. So if you are interested, contact our team. And it's a quite simple process, so that's really it. I like to keep these videos short and concise because there's not too much more to discuss when it comes to the company registration. So I just want to wrap up quickly. So if you are looking for a quick and easy way to register a new FX or CFD broker, then St. Lucia is the ideal jurisdiction. It only takes like 2 to 3 weeks, which is quite fast. No capital requirements, no local office, so it's very cost effective as well. And our team can even assist with banking and additional documentation if needed. So if you would like to learn more about St. Lucia, then you definitely want to get in touch with our team. either myself or one of our consultants would be happy to arrange a call with you. We'll cover everything. We'll get you a proposal. We can also get you quotations on those other services. And, we're happy to assist you with banking as well. That's really it. It's a very straightforward process. So feel free to contact us if you'd like to learn more. And in terms of these videos, we like to post content quite consistently. So make sure to subscribe to our channel so you get notified when a video is released. And I always mention, if you have any questions or a video request, feel free to drop it in the comments. So I wish to thank you for checking out this video, and have a great day.